What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. First and foremost, I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend and a great Easter if you celebrated, but we are so close to the NFL draft. It is literally this week. So we're wrapping up here with a few more draft rebuilds as we're doing the Green Bay Packers today, and it's no secret that they could use another wide receiver. I don't exactly know which wide receiver we're getting in this draft, but you'll probably know by the title of the video as you see it. Let's go ahead and jump in and do ideally either a Luther Burden or a Matthew Golden Green Bay Packers rebuild in Madden 25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me about 85% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do fall in the 85%, want to change that, that would be greatly appreciated as we're on the road to 10,000 subs. But let's go ahead and talk about what the Packers have done this offseason. As normally the Packers not a team that spend big in free agency. They do at times, but very rarely. Obviously, the big addition in offense was Aaron Banks. They've also added Mecole Hardman just recently, not that long ago. And on the defensive side of the football, it was mainly just Nate Hobbs. Obviously, a year ago, they added Xavier McKinney. He was amazing for them last year, so I'm sure they're very happy with him. And then this is kind of what it's looking like right now. But obviously, the theme of the video is adding another wide receiver. You have Jaden Reed, you have Christian Watson, you have Dontavian Wicks. There's a solid group of wide receivers, but nobody you can sit here and confidently say is a number one wide receiver. So I think everyone thought they'd be going after some kind of veteran receiver this offseason. Maybe they trade for DK. That was the big rumor. Maybe Cooper Kupp was another one. They just didn't get any of those guys. So they're going to have to draft one, I assume. So maybe they're hoping that Matthew Golden or Luther Burden falls to them, and I'm assuming they'll strike with one of those guys. Although I know the Packers usually don't take an offensive player in round one. It's usually a defensive player. So we'll have to kind of fix the mold on that. But I kind of hope Luther Burden falls to us, but I do know that he usually goes pretty early in these drafts. So let's go ahead and see if he does. Hopefully Golden's on the board. If not, Luther Burden, we'll see. So Luther Burden did go to the Saints, which is definitely a possibility. But we should have Matthew Golden still on the board, which is not a bad pick either. So Matthew Golden will be the rebuild today. I was hoping it'd be Luther Burden. We still could make it Luther Burden, but Matthew Golden is not a bad one either. So let's go ahead and snag Matthew Golden here to acquire on this Packers team. Should be a lot of fun to have him, unless if we do make it Luther Burden. Do I want to make it Luther Burden? We could swap those guys potentially. 93 speed, because I have heard some rumors about Golden potentially falling to the second round, which is kind of interesting. So you know what? I am going to call an audible here. We're going to make it Luther Burden. We're going to swap them here in just a second. But let's go ahead and get to pick 55, and let's see what we got going on here. So at pick 55, we got Quinn Ewers, Kevin Winston, Deone Walker, Denzel Burke, Barrett Carter, Stutzman, and then Xavier Watts. So obviously safety, we're feeling good. Our offensive line is fine. We just added our wide receiver. We have a decent tight end with Tucker Kraft. Maybe, well, we don't need a safety. Maybe another power rusher wouldn't hurt us to add to this team just for some extra depth. So I do think I'm going to take Deone Walker here in round 2. So we're going to go ahead and take Deone Walker here to be the pick, and he will be 35 in true value, hidden speed, hidden dev, not hidden speed, hidden dev. So that's a nice little pick to add to this defense. And let's go to round 3, and we'll see what we want to do in round 3. We can add an offensive lineman or whatever it may be. But this team is pretty set in a lot of places, so it's not like we have like a need necessarily anywhere like per se. But you have Denzel Burke who's fallen this far, so I actually do kind of like the idea of him. We could take Leonard Barton as well, or like a Kobe King or something, because our linebacker, one of our linebackers is a little weak, I guess. So Leonard Barton, A to C man, A to C zone. I actually do think I'm going to go ahead and take Leonard Barton here. So we'll take Leonard Barton instead of Denzel Burke, 124 in true value. 85 speed, though, should be able to cover a little bit. So that will be our draft. I am going to go ahead and swap Luther Burden and Matthew Golden, and then we'll go ahead and get in the lineup for year number 1. So we're an 82 overall with an 84 offense and an 81 defense. Let's go ahead and take a look at this lineup going into year number 1, shall we? So it's going to be Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Christian Watson, and you have Wicks on the depth chart, Luther Burden, Tucker Kraft, Tom Banks, and then you have Morgan kind of sitting in the background, but we could probably move Morgan to center if I had to guess, and he could play center for us, 24 years old, because clearly there's a hole at our center position, and he's coming off the bench right now, so we might as well just go ahead and see what he can do at the center for us. Jordan Morgan can go ahead and step up there. That way we have a little bit of a better center there, so that looks better. And then, yeah, I'm going to move Luther Burden up the depth chart here in just a second. Leonard Barton and then Deone Walker. So those two that we just drafted are going to come in and start immediately, which is great. So this all looks really good. Very happy with this. There was some rumors about Jair Alexander, but nothing ever happened with that. I don't know if there's still a possibility he's cut or traded, but have not heard anything in a while about him. As far as slot wide receiver is concerned, I'm going to go ahead and throw Luther Burden in this role because obviously slot wide receivers in Madden do extremely well. So we're going to simulate year number 1. We're not going to change the playbooks either because Green Bay's playbook is usually really good. So I'm expecting this to be a good team still. But let's go ahead and simulate to the playoffs, and let's see if we end up making the postseason with Luther Burden added to the team. So at the end of season number 1, we do make the playoffs at 10-7 as we get to draw or get to play against our division rival, the Detroit Lions. So that should be an interesting matchup there. Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing yards. That's awesome to see. So we're going to keep this offensive playbook the same probably throughout the entire video. Green Bay's playbook is really good. So offensively, 4th in the NFL. Defensively, not as great. 23rd in the NFL. Could be a lot worse, but 39-8 from Jordan Love. So clearly things went well there. Josh Jacobs, as we saw, led the league in rushing yards. He also had 13 touchdowns on top of that. Romeo Dubs, and then he had Jaden Reed with 6 touchdowns. Luther Burden with 890 and 12 touchdowns. And then Dobbs or Dubs, whatever you want to say. People have gotten triggered by the way I pronounce Dobbs, whatever you want to call it. It's you get what I'm saying. You want me to say Romeo all the time? I will. Fine. Romeo had 10 touchdowns. Jaden Reed with 6, and then Tucker Kraft with 3 with 450 yards, and then 3 touchdowns from Josh Jacobs to the air as well. Sacks-wise, you had 7.5 from Rashawn Gary, 6 from Deontay Wyatt, 2.5 from Quay Walker, 2 from our new addition in Dion Walker, 1.5 from Kenny Clark, 1 from Nate Hobbs, and 1 from Leonard Barton. Here was your interceptions, 4 from Jair. But let's go ahead, jump in, and play the Detroit Lions round 1. Obviously, this won't be an easy matchup. The Lions will be super hungry after what happened to them last year in divisional weekend. So let's go ahead and see if we can beat them in wildcard weekend. So Jordan Love versus Jared Goff. Honestly, the Lions have gotten the best of the Packers as of late, but let's see if we can turn that narrative around as we have a fumble recovery right off the rip from Xavier McKinney, who just has a knack for turning over the football. So shout out to McKinney as we will go up 14-0 to start things off. That was a great way to start the game, and we're up 17-0. But I will not rule out, and we have another fumble recovery with 3 seconds left. Now, I do want to see if I can't score really quickly because there's 3 seconds, and I would love to take a shot at potentially getting a touchdown here. Might as well try, right? So we can do a little bit of a Hail Mary action. We all remember the famous Hail Mary, Aaron Rodgers to Richard Rodgers. That was a crazy play that will never be forgotten. I'm going to give, can I get this ball off? I can. Jaden Reed, make the play. Jaden Reed, make the play. Jaden Reed, make the play. Let's freaking go. That worked exactly how I wanted to. Williams, whoever that is, did not put himself in a great position. Jaden Reed is going to come away with the score, and we'll go up big time at half with no time remaining. All right, 24-0. If we blow this, we are absolutely terrible, but we're up 31. I don't think the Lions have an answer. They finally get some points in the 4th quarter. Man, if Lions fans went from, or I guess, Lions fan base would feel some type of way about this, but if they went from losing the divisional weekend to getting blown out 38-7 the next year in wildcard weekend to the Packers, man, that fan base would be, I don't know, they'd be distraught. That's all I can say. But let's go ahead and get to divisional weekend as we just took out the Lions in wildcard weekend. We blew them out. And now we find ourselves in the division round against the 49ers, which is the team that the Packers played a couple years ago when they lost in the playoffs after they beat the Cowboys in wildcard weekend. So let's see if we can't get revenge for when that happened as we start off fast with a 7-0 start. The Niners will respond really quickly, and we get a field goal to respond after that. It's going to be 17-7, so we have ourselves in a great position right now, but can we hang on to it is the question. 17-14 now. Need a score here. We will get a touchdown to make it a 10-point game. But the Niners are still within reach, 21-24. And we will hang on to the football, and we will end it there, 24-21, winning divisional weekend. And we're on to the NFC Championship in just year number 1, which is absolutely incredible. So let's go ahead and see who's in front of us in the NFC Championship. Will it be the Eagles? Will it be somebody else? More than likely, it will be the Eagles, and that's the team the Packers course, lost last 2 in the playoffs this last year. So let's go see if we can go see them in the NFC Championship. It is actually not the Philadelphia Eagles. It's a different bird. It's the Seattle Seahawks, who, of course, no longer have Geno Smith. But as you guys know, the way I've done these rebuilds is I can't manually fix everything across the league. I can only do it for the team I'm currently doing. So we are going to go down 7-0, but we will respond 7-7. We're also obviously in Seattle, so let's see if we can't get another win on the road, because that's what we've done to this point. And we will 10-14. We have to take the lead here, and we do 17-14. We get a huge interception from Quay Walker. Defense has been getting some interceptions, which has been nice. And now we have the same score as we did in the Niners game, but can we hang on again is the question. We give him the ball back, and we get a big interception from Edgerrin Cooper. And that will be all she wrote. As in year number 1, we are going to make it to the damn Super Bowl. We take out not only the 49ers 24-21, we also take out the Seahawks 24-21. So now let's go see who's in front of us in the Super Bowl, as we've made it there in literally year number 1 with Luther Burden added to the team, which has just been incredible. And now for the Super Bowl, as we get to play a very talented Cincinnati team. Obviously, we know how dangerous they are on offense with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but we know we're dangerous too. So let's see if we can't take out the Bengals in the Super Bowl here to get one in year number 1. So we will start off with a 3-0 lead. Okay, we get another interception, man. Our defense has been causing turnovers throughout these playoffs, and that's what wins you games in the playoffs. Obviously, you turn over the football, you lose. If you cause turnovers, you win. Another position where we have 1 second left on the clock at the 40-yard line. I don't know if I can do it again, but I'm going to try. We did it in the Lions game, so let's see if I can make it happen here again to where we score very quickly. That would be awesome. So we're just going to take a shot at it. It doesn't hurt to try, right? So I'm going to throw Reed on a go route and just throw him straight, and then we'll see if we have enough time. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. I'm going to try B. Dubs. Gonna make the catch. There's 1 second. Breaks 1 tackle, but he will be tackled by the next guy. Okay. No worries. We will go down. Or sorry, we're gonna be up 10-0 at half. But man, would have been awesome if we were, if Dubs like just broke 2 tackles there. But all right, enough celebrating. The half's over. I hate how Madden does that. I get it why it's doing it, but come on, man. All right, let's give the ball to our running back Josh Jacobs, and let's defend the medium pass against Joe Burrow. I don't know if that's gonna be what helps us, but let's see. We got the Bengals getting stopped in their first possession. They have not put up any points, by the way. In the fourth quarter, they finally do, and we will put them away, I think, 17-7. Oh, wow, they drafted Emeka Ibuka, too, as well, to add a T. Higgins and Joe Burrow. That's scary. But 20-7 puts them out of reach, and we will draw the Super Bowl in year number 1 with this Packers team. Like I said, the Packers are a good simulation team, so I'm not really too surprised by that. Their playbook's incredible. And Luther Burden added this team allows us to get... I don't know if Luther Burden makes a difference, but he obviously was drafted in this rebuild, and that's why we're very happy to have him, because we just won a Super Bowl with them in year number 1. But we're not going to end it there. We're going to try to go back-to-back at least, and if not, maybe try to three-peat if we can go in another one. But first Super Bowl done in year 1 feels great, but let's continue to see if we can add another one. So going to the offseason, about $56 million in cap space. So let's see what we can do as far as re-signing. I just saw Travis Kelce retire, which is interesting. Both our offensive tackles are free agents. Romeo is a free agent as well. Watson is. I think we obviously have to choose one or the other. More than likely, I will choose Romeo. But I have noticed he hits free agency a lot, so it would not shock me if he said no to us. Aaron Banks signed a long-term deal, so I'm going to re-sign him as well, or at least going to try to. Luke Vaness is a fifth-year option, which I guess I'm just going to go ahead and accept. And then let's give Zach Tom and Rasheed Walker offers, though, because I do want to keep them, as I'm trying to keep, Love protected back there. And he's going to test free agency. So if a franchise tag our left tackle, it costs us $26 million, which would suck. So I'm not going to do that. But Rasheed Walker should sign with us, which is great. And then Romeo or Christian Watson, do we just let both of them walk? Because we'll have Jaden Reed. Well, yeah, we have Jaden Reed and Luther Burden, but we could use a third wide receiver. So I'm going to give Dubs an offer, and he's going to test free agency. Watson is made of glass, so I'm not even going to re-sign him. Deontay Wyatt's another guy I always see enter free agency, so I'm kind of expecting him. Yeah, he didn't accept our offer either. And then Aaron Banks needs to be re-signed because obviously, like I said, he signed a long-term deal with the Packers. I don't remember exactly. It was like 4 years, 70-something, so I'm going to give him around 50, even though free agents got paid this offseason, man. So we're going to give Aaron Banks a big offer, even though I don't need to. And even with the big offer, he says no, even though he signed a long-term deal in real life. So that's great. But we're going to go ahead and hit free agency now. And a lot of the guys we just tried to re-sign, of course, didn't even accept our offer. We're only going in with $40 million in cap space. Let's go ahead and take a look to see what we're missing out on. Obviously, we know we missed out on one of our offensive linemen. One of our guards is gone now. But my intention is to get both of them back if we can. Jacobs is a superstar X factor now, which is great. I guess we don't need to re-sign Romeo because we do have Dontavian Wicks still and Mecole Hardman not to mention. So sure, I guess we can rock with Wicks still as the third wide receiver, so I don't hate that. Offensive lineman needs to be the priority. If we can get Banks and Zach Tom back, that'd be ideal. And then defensively, we obviously lost our D tackle, but we could probably still draft one as well. Buller's developed. We have Valentine as the third corner, but we can add one there. Wouldn't be horrible. And then Deion Walker's up to an 83, so everything's looking really good right now. Let's go ahead and get in the free agency. My main priority is try to re-sign most of the guys that just left us, because we really don't have a choice. So like Zach Tom, We may not be able to get him, man. He might choose another team because he has no interest in coming back here. So let's see if we can get... No, like, so the Bears are going to be up there. I mean, we're technically there, but Zach Tom might just fully leave us. We might have to just move on from that. So that does suck, but what can you really do? So Aaron Banks, I want back because, like I said, he did sign a long-term deal to begin with. So I'm going to give him a deal. He has 2 offers, so we'll see if we're up there for him. But I guess I already tried to give him the big deal, and he said no, so I'm only going to offer something smaller now. So we should get him back, which is nice. All right, so we're going to miss out on our tackle. So do we move on to, like, Taylor Moton instead? Is Zach Tom's going to say no to us, or do we just draft a right tackle? Maybe we just draft it. Let's just draft our tackle and go for something else in free agency. Because you have guys like Andrews here. What else? We have some corner options as well, which I don't hate the idea of. So I'm going to try to get Greg Newsome, though. Greg Newsome is young enough, or Zion McCollum, or even have Martin Emerson. But let me go for Greg Newsome. Let's see if we can get Newsome on this team, because that'd be awesome. Only 26 years of age. See if he has any interest. So we might be able to get him, but the Raiders are in on him as well. So Greg Newsome and Aaron Banks. Let's see if we can get these guys to sign, but the Raiders, like I said, might outbid us. They do. We don't get Newsome, unfortunately, but hopefully like McCollum still here. Still have Martin Emerson, who's not a bad option. So I'm going to give Martin Emerson a deal to be our third corner. Only 25 still, so Martin Emerson should sign. The Browns are trying to get him back, but he will choose us. So those are our 2 additions. We bring somebody back, and then we sign a corner. So not a whole lot going on there, obviously, but I do think in the draft, I just saw Mark Andrews went to the Chargers, which there's been some rumors about that in real life, so that actually makes a ton of sense. We just need a tackle, which we're going to draft. Like I said, in round 1, we're probably drafting an offensive lineman. Defensively, we need a D tackle as well, so we're going to be building in the trenches, shall you say, in the draft. So let's go ahead and hit the draft up and see if we can add those 2 positions we definitely need. So we're obviously picking very late, so there's a good chance, you know, we're not getting any of the top prospects here, obviously, but we'll have to see what is on the board while we're picking. So I'm looking for the trenches, and we got DJ Hicks on the board. We have Kendrick Law. We have Joe Bruner. We have Zachariah Branch. We have Riley Mallman out of Wisconsin. So do we want DJ Hicks or do we want Riley Mallman is the question, because those are the 2 guys I'm definitely looking at. So if you look at Riley Mallman, A run block, speed is good, A lead block. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Riley Mallman here in round 1. So he'll be our brand new replacement to Zach Tom. Would have loved to have just kept Zach Tom, but he didn't have any interest in coming back. So now for round, DJ Hicks, if I'm lucky enough for him to fall here, I doubt it, but it would be cool if he did. But if he is here, I'm jumping all over it. So he picked at 32, and so far, I don't think he was drafted, right? Or no, he went to the Bucks. Just kidding. Man, I was like getting happy there for a second. I'm like, no way he's still on the board. That would have been awesome. So we did have some offensive lineman options here, so maybe we could have waited, but Bear Alexander is not a bad one to draft as well to replace Deontay Wyatt. So Bear Alexander will be the pick here. So we have Bear Alexander, and now we have Riley Mallman to build in those trenches. And round 3 can just kind of be whatever we want it to be. So let's go to round 3, and let's see what we can get here. And by the way, I should technically have the last pick in this round 3, but I had to finesse some stuff earlier to get Luther Burden on this team. So I traded the wrong pick, but whatever. I guess I'm just going to roll with it. I mean, actually, I still could fix it. Let me do that. Let me just fix it right now. So I can still trade this pick away because I'm not even supposed to have this pick technically. This was just from what I had to do earlier to get Luther Burden on this team. So let me trade this pick for the Saints 3rd rounder because that's the pick I'm supposed to have, actually. So let's fix that. That way I'm not cheating, I guess. And then we'll have 96 in the 3rd round. So let's go ahead and grab that off them because that's the pick I'm supposed to have. All right, so now let's skip to our pick, and then we'll take whatever we feel is best right here. So pick 96, King Mack is on the Bengals, and then Eno Anetta was somebody I was looking at earlier, but he almost fell to us. Not quite, though. We have Smith. We have Jamari Butler, Delane. I do think I'm going to go ahead and Jamari Butler here. Speed rusher, A pursuit, C zone, B tackle, but we can move him down to the D line, which we will probably do for more depth, and that will be our draft. So 150 true value, 96. But let's go ahead and get to the lineup for year 2 and see if we can go repeat and go back to back. That'd be awesome. So here's what the offense is looking like going into year number 2. Mainly the same thing, other than obviously we did lose Zach Tom, which was really unfortunate. Riley Mallman's going to be a really good replacement as he's a 75-year-old rookie, or 75 overall, not 75 years old. What the hell am I talking about? So offense still looking good. Defensively, we added Bear Alexander to replace Deontay Wyatt, and he's a 75 overall out of the gate as well, which is really nice. You've added Martin Emerson. Javon Buller's developed a little bit. McKinney is still here. So our defense was really good in the playoffs last year. Regular season, not as much, but as long as they can just keep us afloat, that's all that truly matters. And then the last thing I want to look at was slot wide receiver, which I still want this to be Luther Burden, honestly, but I guess if at wide receiver 2, he's fine, and Wicks is the slot wide receiver, that's fine as well. Because if Wicks dominates, then maybe he'll jump up a depth trait, and there'll be reasons to re-sign him. But let's go ahead, get into year 2. We made the playoffs last year, obviously, and won the damn Super Bowl. So let's go see if we can make it again and win the Super Bowl again. We'll see. This is by far the best record I've ever had in Madden 25. I'm pretty sure in the last Madden, I went 17-0 somehow with the Raiders. I can just remember that because that was crazy. We just went 16-1. 16-1 is actually insane. We were one game away from going 17-0. By far and away, like I said, the best record I've ever had in a Madden simulation in Madden 25. But I have gone 17-0 before, completely on accident, which is wild. Offensively, we were first in NFL. No duh, that makes sense. Defensively, we were top 10 as well. So 43-7 from Jordan Love. You had 21 touchdowns and 1,500 yards from Josh Jacobs. Luther Burden was incredible with 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. Wicks with 19 at the slot, which is why I said leaving him at the slot was maybe not a bad idea, because he's probably going to jump up a depth trait after catching 19 touchdowns along with that many yards. That looks incredible. Sacks-wise, you had 9.5 from Sean Gary, 8.5 from Luke Van Ness, which is awesome because we just accepted his 5th-year option. So he's coming back, and he had a really good season, so we don't have to re-sign him to like a big contract yet. Jair with 8 interceptions, who continues to be great, and then Marty Emerson was a great addition to free agency too with 4. All right, we don't even have to play in wildcard weekend this time. We beat the Lions pretty badly last time we were there. Let's go ahead and get into divisional weekend and see who's in front of us there. And we get to play the 10-7 Dallas Cowboys. So they have to come to Lambeau. These two have had classics in the playoffs before, so let's go see if we can make another one happen, shall we? The Dak Prescott versus Jordan Love. So let's go ahead and see how this is going to go as the Cowboys go up 7-0. Obviously, after going 16-1, losing in divisional weekend would be pretty brutal as we're down 14-0, but we score, and now we have the ball after half, so we need to score here, and we do, but we don't. Okay. The Cowboys are truly threatening us right now. If we don't score here and tie it, we could be in trouble, and we are not going to do so. The Cowboys are going to go up 24-10. There's a minute and 39 left, so we just went 16-1 just to lose right out of the gate, which is so disappointing to think about, but it is exactly what just happened to us. So we're going to lose in divisional weekend to a Dallas Cowboys team, and Mike McCarthy is celebrating against his former team, which is even more brutal to think about, although obviously he's not the coach of the Cowboys anymore. But man, what a disappointment. I was anticipating going back-to-back. Not going to happen, but we can still try to win a second one in the 3rd season, so let's build on what we just did, and we'll see if things will be much better next year. But man, does that suck, because I was really anticipating a three-peat after what I just saw after we went 16-1, but not meant to be. So the Cowboys did go all the way to the Super Bowl, but it looks like they lost to the Bengals when they got there, 38-28. We have $93 million in cap space, which is great, so a lot of money to work with. But Jair's a free agent, Tucker Kraft's a free agent, so I'm assuming a lot of this money we're seeing right now is going to be used to re-sign a bunch of guys, which I'm totally cool with, by the way. If we bring this team back, that would not bum me out at all. Jair says no, which sucks because, man, I'll have to think about it, but I'm gonna re-sign everybody else before I just franchise tag Jair Alexander. But Kraft will be back, which is great. So we'll keep him around. Jaden Reed, anticipation of bringing him back as well. He will stick. Oops, there we go. He'll stick around. Wicks might be a free agent too, and I'm assuming his depth trait went up. So we have Nate Hobbs, who was signed earlier to a new deal for the Raiders in free agency. He's gonna say no to us, so we have to move on from that. Elton Jenkins thankfully has interest in coming back. Superstar dev guard. We'll keep him around. So far, we've gotten some of the guys back. Quay Walker, Jordan Morgan. Wicks is up in a depth trait. So after Wicks, it's not too bad to look at. So Quay Walker, re-sign him as well. So keep him. And then let's re-sign Nate. Let's re-sign Wicks and Morgan if we can. So we'll go Wicks. So we're mainly probably going to be bringing this team back, it looks like, and then adding through the draft. Well, actually, Morgan's just a 5th-year option, which he's up to an 81. So sign me up for that. After that, we probably have to let the rest of these guys walk. So what do we do with Jair? If we franchise tag Jair, obviously, that's going to put us over the cap. So I'm not going to do that. It's going to suck to lose him because he just had a really good season as well. But we'll have to see if we can maybe re-sign him in free agency if we restructure somebody's contract potentially, because there is interest in keeping him. Don't get me wrong. But let's go look to see if there's any other free agent that, maybe would be worth going after other than maybe. So, oh my gosh, yes, there is. There's a lot of good free agents. Aiden Hutchinson, who has full interest in coming to Green Bay. Sam Laporta. We don't necessarily need a tight end, though. Brian Branch would be awesome. Linderbaum's interested. But obviously, we lost Nate Hobbs and Jair, so we did take a big hit at corner. So we're going to go ahead and restructure Jordan Love to free up $12 million in cap space because we do need to go for Jair Alexander, in my opinion, because corner has taken a big hit with Nate Hobbs and Jair gone. So I am all in on trying to bring Jair back if we can. He does have 6 offers, so we really have to see how much he is interested in coming back because we have Martin Emerson and Delane, but after that, it's a big fall off. So let's see if Jair's even interested, and no, he's not. So we're not even going to get Jair back, unfortunately. So we have $30 million in cap space. We need corners, though, in the worst way possible. So Nate Hobbs only has 1 offer, so we could probably get him. But Jair is going to leave us, it looks like. So that is disappointing, to say the least. Nate Hobbs, we should get back. Jair, we're going to lose out on. I guess I have to bring in, like, Kenny Moore or Kendall Fuller, or we trade for a different corner or draft one. But I do think I'd rather have a veteran at this point as we're going for another Super Bowl. I'm going to go ahead and add Kendall Fuller. So our corner room is going to take a little bit of a, a little bit of a hit with Jair leaving us. He's interested in the Patriots instead. So Nate Hobbs actually is going to be contested. We actually have the Seahawks in on him now as well. So we have to maybe up our offer a little bit, but he was just here. So the Seahawks might steal him, and they do. Damn, man, that sucks. Okay, so we only get Kendall Fuller, which isn't great. I'm not content with that at all. So we definitely need to potentially be aggressive here as far as getting a corner is concerned. So that is what I think I'm going to do. I think we trade for a corner because drafting one is great and all, but I'm trying to go for a Super Bowl in year 3 and winning another one. And I think if we just signed a, or drafted a free agent corner, that's not going to be good enough. So we are going to go ahead and try to attempt trading for a corner, and we'll see if we can make it happen. And we'll be ready for year number 3 once we've done that. I'm going to see if the Falcons would give me AJ Terrell at age 28. I'm going to offer my first round pick to start things off straight up for Terrell, but I'm assuming we're going to have to add more than this. So let's see what they say. And wow, they actually agreed just for a first round pick. So we're trading our 28th overall pick for AJ Terrell to be our brand new corner to replace Jair Alexander. So that feels great. And I'm going to just skip right past the draft because we pretty much have starters everywhere. So Terrell is going to be added to replace Jair. We obviously added Fuller, have Marty Emerson still. So we replaced Nate Hobbs and Jair with basically AJ Terrell and Kendall Fuller, which isn't horrible. Would have loved to have kept those guys instead. We just went 16-1, lost in divisional weekend. So we're hoping to obviously make the playoffs again. I don't need to go 16-1. Just get me in the playoffs. Give us a chance. We're going to try to win a Super Bowl year 3 because that would be the most ideal way to go about things. But we'll see if it works out that way. So let's go take a look at the lineup going into year number 3 after we've already won a Super Bowl in this video. But obviously the anticipation is trying to win another one. So Jordan Love is now superstar dev, which is awesome. Luther Burden's the wide receiver 1. Wicks went up to star dev after the season he had, as you guys saw earlier. Defensively, we added Kendall Fuller, who's also, I forgot to mention, Kendall Fuller is also superstar dev, which is nice. And then Terrell, superstar dev. So yeah, things are looking pretty good. But all that matters is obviously trying to win another Super Bowl. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the playoffs again. We'll have another chance at it for a 3rd time. So at the end of year number 3, we do finish up at 11-6, win a division, and we get a home playoff game. I think that's the first. Well, I guess we played home earlier against the Cowboys and lost, but we get a chance of redemption here as we'll look at the stats and we can jump in. So Josh Jacobs continues to be dominant on the offensive side of the football, but offensively 4th in the NFL, and then defensively we were 23rd. So not bad. But not great. 43, actually 23rd is pretty bad in a way. It's middle of the pack, I guess. It could be worse. 11 touchdowns, 13 yards from Josh Jacobs, and then you had 1,300 yards. Damn, our whole wide receiver trio was really good. 14 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, 14 touchdowns. Awesome stuff. Sacks-wise, we had 12.5 from our rookie from last year, Bill Alexander, sophomore season. Looks great. 5.5 from Sean Gary, 5 from Kenny Clark, 4 from Deion Walker, and here was your interceptions with Edgerrin Cooper, Fuller, McKinney, 1 from Walker, 1 from Bullard, and 1 from Emerson. But we don't have a bye this time, which is fine because this is how we won the Super Bowl last time. So we get to play the Panthers round 1. So let's go see if we can take them out and get the Super Bowl for another year. So Bryce Young versus Jordan Love. Let's go ahead and see if we can't take out the Panthers here at home, or are we going to fall short of our goal of winning another Super Bowl in this video. We're down 14-7, and the Panthers might be giving us some trouble. 21-7, but it's 21-14 now. We get a desperate stop we needed, and if we tie it, we get another interception, and we'll tie it 21-21. But the Panthers quickly respond, and we'll respond right back. So this is a back and forth as you can get. There's a minute 21 left in the clock. It's 35-28 with a minute 21, like I said. So we are in trouble as our defense can't seem to stop this Panthers offense whatsoever so far. So I'm going to come out here. I don't know why we're running the ball. There's not enough time for that. So we're going to play action this. Even though, like I said, running the ball was probably not really an option right now. But what a throw. What a freaking throw, Jordan Love. I don't know why that was so off target. I mean, Luther Burden was literally wide open. But all right, sure. Great start to this drive. It's absolutely oversailed. Maybe I had pressure and I didn't notice. But all right. We got to score quickly. I could have trusted that maybe the CPU seemed to make it happen, but I wanted to make sure I made it happen myself. So that's a better throw to Jaden Reed up the middle. And now we're 1st and 10. Love has thrown 3 touchdowns in the day so far. So let's see if we can't throw another one. All right, let's continue. I guess we're running the same play. That was kind of unintentional, but I can rock with it again. Potentially, I have to get rid of this ball, and we're going to get almost sacked, but we threw it at the feet of our running back. Let's come out in something different this time. They played man right there. All right, so I'm hoping to allow Luther Burden just get wide open in the middle. Not quite there. I'm gonna take a brutal sack. I didn't see anything open, I'm gonna be honest with you, but maybe I'm just blind. All right, well, we gotta pick up 25 yards, so we could absolutely be in trouble right here. So let's see if I can't pick up 25 yards. Does Wicks have what it takes? Is this a good? I mean, it had a chance, but now it's 4th and 25. We are absolutely in trouble here. We have to pick up a big gain if we want to continue this drive. All right. Well, is this all going to be all she wrote? I'm going to give B a chance. Jaden Reed, is this going to have an opportunity? And it's not. It's going to go down to the ground. 1st and 10, 31 seconds left. So we're going to fall short of winning another Super Bowl in this video, and the Panthers are going to beat us in Wild Card Weekend. Could have done better when I jumped in. Maybe I should have let the CPU take care of that, but there's a chance we would have lost anyway with not much time remaining. But Carolina just absolutely came in and stomped us. So I guess the key is for us to not have a home playoff game, because it didn't seem to work in this video whatsoever. Every time we played at home, we just got absolutely stomped. We'd rather be on the road. But at least we got 1 Super Bowl in this video, and the stats look pretty good throughout it. Unfortunately, though, Wild Card Weekend is where this one will come to a stop. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We're one day closer to the NFL draft. I cannot wait. It'll be interesting to kind of see how the draft board falls. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.